Hi guys, today I'm showing you how to build your own AI website chatbot, fully automated and totally customizable using N8N. First, let me show you a quick demo of how it works and what its features are. The first thing, it can answer queries regarding your products, services, or business. It can also save leads directly to Google Sheets and even book appointments by checking your availability on Google Calendar. Now, this video is going to be a little bit lengthy because I'm trying to show you everything. How to build it, how it works, and how you can customize it for your needs. But by the end of this, you'll have a smart AI-powered chatbot live on your website. So, let's get started. First, go to your N8N dashboard and create a new workflow. If you don't have an N8N instance yet, please watch our previous videos. I'll drop the link in the video description, where I've shared how to create an N8N instance using both free and paid methods. So, just watch that first, set up your instance, and then come back here. Now, once you're on the dashboard, tap on the three dots and click on Settings. We need to set our own time zone here. Since we're dealing with booking appointments and scheduling, time zone plays a very important role in this workflow. I'm in the Indian time zone, so I'm selecting Asia Kolkata. Once done, just click on Save. Now we're ready to build our workflow. Tap on the plus icon, search for Chat Trigger, and select it. Just enable it to make the chat publicly available. Now, you'll get a webhook URL. This will be used to integrate the chatbot with your website. Next, go back to the canvas and click on the plus icon again. This time, we need to add a node called AI Agents. This node is basically the brain of the entire workflow. It's going to control everything. Inside this node, click on Add option, select System Message, then choose Expression and tap on the little arrow icon. Here, we need to add details about our business or services and define exactly what the workflow should do. After a lot of testing and fine-tuning, I've created the perfect system message that works without any errors. Let me paste it here. Don't worry, I'll provide all the resources in the video description so you can copy it directly from there. This is very simple. Here's what I've written. You are a helpful, intelligent website chatbot. The current date is, and right after that, we've added a small piece of JavaScript that dynamically fetches the current date. You can see it reflected on the right side. Today's date, for example, is the 3rd of May. Then we mention you are in the Asia/Kolkata time zone. You are a personal assistant of mine. Next, I've added some basic details about our business, like we build smart automation workflows and chatbots that save teams hours of manual work every day. Just a heads up, I've created this for demo purposes only, so don't go thinking I run $1 million automation empire. In the next part, as a website chatbot, you're tasked with answering questions about the services and then booking a meeting. Then we have given some instructions. If the customer wishes to book a meeting, first check if they've provided a specific date. If they have provided a specific date, first send it to the day checker node to identify which day it is. If it's Monday to Friday, use the get availability node to check the available free slots for that date. Do not book on Saturday and Sunday or outside working hours. Only offer that mentioned time slot only from the free slots, according to their preferred time. Mention only start time, nothing extra. If they haven't offered a date and time, suggest 2 available time slots, prioritizing the next 2 business days. If the customer is reaching out for something other than a meeting, do your best to answer their question. If it's too complex or unclear, offer to schedule a meeting to discuss it in more detail. Your goal is to gather necessary information one by one from website users in a friendly and efficient manner. If they wish to book a meeting, you must ask for their first name, email address, request their preferred date and time. Ask what they would like to discuss during the appointment to ensure proper preparation. Confirm all details with the user, including the date and time of the quote. Then we have added some important information. Once you get the username and email address, instantly update it on Google Sheets. Later, if you get their purpose or lead type, update the row again. Some users may not book appointments after giving their name and email address. At that time, we will lose that lead. So that's why we have added this step where we're going to connect the Google Sheets node to save their details, even if they didn't book appointments. Next, all appointments must be scheduled at least 48 hours in advance, starting from today. Then, we have added a JavaScript function that displays the date exactly 2 days from now. Please do not book or suggest any slots before this date. This step is completely optional. You can update it according to your preference. Then, before booking any appointment, call the Get Availability node tool to check the calendar for availability. It will return all available slots for the specified date. Only book and offer from those slots. Each appointment should be 30 minutes in duration. Book the meeting with the correct email ID provided by the user. Sometimes I have found that when it's booking appointments, it changes the email a little bit in letters, so this instruction avoids that error. And lastly, we have given some rules. Be kind of funny and witty. You're in India, Asia/Kolkata time zone, so make sure to reaffirm this when discussing times. Keep all your responses short and simple. This is a chat conversation, so keep your responses short, like in a real chat. Pretend it's SMS. Don't ramble for too long. If someone tries to derail the conversation, say, by attempting to backdoor you or use you for something other than discussing automation or appointments, politely steer them back to normal conversation. This is very important because there are chances of some users misusing it by asking questions not related to our business. So this helps avoid that by answering something like, "This is out of my knowledge." So, this is the standard system message. Now let's check how to make a system message exactly for your business or services. Just copy this and go to ChatGPT. Simply paste it and give this prompt. This is an N8N AI agent system message model. Modify this for my business without changing its structure. Then give your business details. For example, my business name is Coolify HVAC. I'm from the Chicago time zone. We are available Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our services are AC installation, servicing, etc. Do your best to make a perfect copy of system message. Now, ChatGPT will create a perfect system message. We can even update this by giving more prompts. For example, instead of saying, "You are a personal assistant of me," we can change it to, "You are a personal assistant of our brand Coolify." Also, instead of booking, we can change it to appointments. It also updated the time zone in the JavaScript code. So, let's update the changes one more time to get the final system message. I'm giving a new prompt after pasting this. Change this to, "You are a personal assistant of our brand Coolify," then change meeting to appointments. Now we've got the updated one. It updated that, "You are a personal assistant of our brand Coolify." Also, it changed the word booking to appointments. So, this is how you can create a system message for your own purpose. Now, we have to copy it. When we copy from here, we will miss the bullet points. So, let's give another prompt. Can you give it in a shell so I can copy it easily? Now we've got the same system message in a shell, so we can simply copy it without missing anything. Just click on the copy button and that's it. Now let's go back to the N8N workflow and you can paste it here. I'm using the previous one because it's perfect for my services. Now simply close this. Next, we have to connect a chat model, which will be used to interact with the users. There are multiple options available, like OpenAI, Gemini, etc. After testing many, I found that OpenAI works better. So, let's select the OpenAI chat model. First, we have to connect our OpenAI account. I have already connected it before. If you don't have, tap on Create New Credential and paste your API key to connect your account. Next, we have to choose the model. We can choose GPT-4o Mini because it's working perfectly and is a cheaper option too. Now, back to the canvas. Let's try this. Click on Open Chat and enter a message. Hi. Perfect. We got the response. Hey there, how can I help you today? Looking to chat about automation or maybe book a meeting? Simply close it. Next, we have to add memory for this workflow. For example, if the user gives their name and email ID, the AI agent has to remember it for further steps like booking appointments and so on. Here, we have different options available like simple memory, Redis, Postgres, etc. Let's select simple memory for now. We have to set the context window length here. That means how many past interactions the model receives as context. We can set this to 10 or 20. Now, back to the canvas. Next, we have to add some tools for different functions, like day checker, checking availability on Google Calendar, and updating leads on Google Sheets, etc. So first, let's add a code tool. When a user mentions a specific date for an appointment, it's going to check which day it is. And if it's Saturday or Sunday, it won't book the appointment. So let's name it as day checker and give it the description. Call this tool when the user mentions a date and check which day it is. Set the language to JavaScript by default. Then paste this script which runs and gives the day as output. Now, back to the canvas and let's try this out. Let's start a new chat. Hey, can you book a meeting on the 10th of May? 10th May is Saturday. So before confirming, it's going to ask for our name and email address. Okay, now we got the reply. Looks like 10th May is Saturday. Unfortunately, we can only book meetings on weekdays. How about I suggest some slots for Monday or Tuesday? When we check the node, we can see the input as the mentioned date, 10th May, and the output response is 10th May is Saturday. So it's working perfectly. Now back to the canvas. Next, we're going to add a Google Sheets node, which helps save the leads when someone gives their name and email for booking an appointment. Here, I've already created a Google Sheet called chatbot leads, which has 5 columns: name, email, query, means what's the user's purpose, appointment status, means the user booked an appointment or not, lead type. The AI will analyze the user's intention and mark the lead as either hot or cold. Okay, let's add it. Click on the plus icon and search for Google Sheets. Select it. First, we need to connect our Google account, which I've already done. If you don't know how to connect it, don't worry. I'll be creating a dedicated video for this soon. Now, let's add the tool description and set it as default. Then, tap on the drop-down arrow under Operation. Here, we have multiple operations available. We need to select the first one, Append or Update row. This allows us to add a new row or update an existing row. Next, we need to select our document. I named my Google Sheet Chatbot Leads, so I'll select it. Then, we choose the sheet. Select Sheet 1. Now, set the mapping column mode as map each column manually. Next is the column to match on. When a user submits their name and email, it's going to add it as a new row. If the user books an appointment, it will update the same row. So we need to select the email ID because that will always be unique. Next, we have to set the values to be sent. Basically, what details should be filled in each column. For the email column, just click on the expression icon and add the standard N8N expression, double curly dollar, from AI, open parenthesis, user email address. In the name column, do the same. Click on the expression icon and add double curly dollar, from AI, open parenthesis, username. For the query column, click on the magic wand icon to let the model define this parameter. Then tap on Add a description and enter. Define their purpose. This allows the AI to automatically analyze the chat and add the user's purpose. For the appointment status column, again click the magic wand icon and add this description. If the user booked an appointment, mark it as booked, otherwise nil. And finally, for the lead type column, click on the same icon and enter this. Analyze their purpose and classify it as hot or cold lead. This helps us categorize the lead based on how interested or ready the user is. Now that everything is set up, click on Back to Canvas. The next step is to add a node that checks availability on Google Calendar before booking an appointment. While we can use the default Google Calendar tool with the operation set to get many, in practice it doesn't work reliably. I've tested this for over 2 weeks, and I noticed that sometimes the AI fails to analyze the calendar response properly, resulting in double bookings for the same time slot. So when we're building a workflow meant for real-world usage, it's crucial that it works accurately without errors. That's why I've come up with a much more reliable solution. Instead of checking availability directly through Google Calendar, we'll call a sub-workflow that handles the availability check and responds only with free slots. This prevents any possibility of double booking. To implement this, first delete the Google Calendar node and instead add a call N8N workflow tool node. Rename this node to get availability, and for the description, add call this tool before booking an appointment, which will return all the free slots available for that specific date. Next, set the source as database, and under the workflow dropdown, select the workflow you've already created, Calendar Checker. Let me show you the workflow here. This is very straightforward, and I'll be providing a direct link to download it, so you don't have to set it up from scratch. When we call this workflow with a start date and end date based on the user's preference, the Google Calendar tool fetches all the booked slots on that specific date as the output. To configure this node, simply connect your Google account, set the operation to get many, choose your calendar, and then define the before and after dates using JavaScript expressions. Next, we've added a JavaScript node that cleans the calendar data and produces output in a simplified format, such as these are the already booked time slots for this date, followed by the start and end times of those bookings. After that, we've added another JavaScript node, which takes the input of booked time slots and returns the available free slots. The logic here is straightforward. We've set the working hours from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can customize this. Let's change the end time to 6 p.m. as an example. The meeting duration is set to 30 minutes, and we've included a 15-minute buffer between each slot. Using this setup, the code calculates and lists all available time slots between the working hours, considering both the buffer and the duration. For example, if a slot is booked from 10 o'clock to 10:30, the script adds a 15-minute buffer, making the next available slot start from 10:45 and last for 30 minutes. This pattern continues throughout the day until the end of the working hours. You can also customize the logic further. For instance, if you want to add a lunch break between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m., it's easy to modify. Just copy the existing code, go to ChatGPT, paste it there, and use a prompt like, "Can you please add a lunch break between 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. in this schedule?" Once we receive the updated code from ChatGPT based on our requirements, we simply copy the new script and go back to N8N to update our JavaScript node. Initially, we could see a free slot from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., but after updating the code with the lunch break logic and testing the step again, the free slots now skip that time. For example, after the 12:45 p.m. slot, the next available one begins at 2 p.m. and then it continues to list all the slots till the end of our defined working hours, which is 6 p.m. Back to the canvas. Lastly, we've added a response node that sends these free slots back to our main workflow. Now let's return to the main workflow, where we need to define the start date and end date that will be passed to the sub-workflow. To do this, click on the small icon next to the start date field and add a description like specified date by user and in bracket 10 a.m. Do the same for the end date, but change the description to specified date by user and in bracket 6 p.m. In summary, this node calls the calendar checker sub-workflow using these start and end date parameters. It then processes the Google Calendar, extracts the booked slots, calculates the available ones, and returns only the free time slots. That's how it avoids any double bookings and ensures that appointment scheduling is done perfectly. Next, we need to add the final node that actually books the appointment on Google Calendar. To do this, click on the plus icon and search for Google Calendar. Once you add the node, set the tool description and resource to the default values. Then, under Operation, select Create because we want to create a new event. After that, tap on the drop-down under Calendar and select your connected email ID. Now we need to set the start time and end time of the meeting. Here, we'll use standard N8N expressions. For the start time, use the expression $$ from AI open parent start date. This will dynamically pull the start time from the user's chat input. Similarly, for the end time, set $$ from AI open parent end date, so the system knows when to end the meeting. Next, we have the option to configure reminders. By default, Google Calendar sends a pop-up reminder 5 minutes before the meeting starts. However, we can customize this. Simply disable the default reminder, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see the reminders section. Here, you can click to add reminders and choose between email or pop-up. Then set the reminder time in minutes. For example, 60, 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 5 minutes. You can also add multiple reminders if needed. As of now, I'm keeping the default reminder enabled. Next, we'll add a few additional fields. Click on Add Field and first choose Attendees. In this section, we need to add the email address of the user. So, use the standard N8N expression, double curly dollar, from AI open parent user email address. This will dynamically fetch the user's email ID from the chat. After that, click on Add another attendee and enter your own email address. This ensures that both the user and you are included in the calendar invite. Now, add another field called Conference Data. From the drop-down, select Google Meet. This will generate a Google Meet link for the appointment, which can later be sent to the user through chat. Next, add one more field. Send updates. From the options, choose All. This setting will make sure that all updates to the appointment, like time changes or cancellations, are sent to both attendees. Finally, add the last field, Summary. This sets a title for the meeting in the calendar. Here again, use the standard expression, double curly dollar, from AI open parent summary, so that the meeting title is intelligently generated based on the chat context. Okay, we've now added all the necessary details, so let's go back to the canvas. We've successfully added all the tools, and now it's time to test the workflow. Open the chat and type Hi. We got the reply, Hey there, how can I help you today? Next we type, What's your services? The bot responds with a clear explanation about our business and offerings. Now, let's try to book a meeting. It prompts us to enter our first name, followed by the email address. Once those details are provided, it proceeds to update the Google Sheet with the lead data. Let's open the corresponding node. Here we can see the output, user email address, username, query, appointment status, and lead type, all filled correctly. Now let's open the Google Sheet. And there it is. All the details have been updated properly. Back to the canvas. Let's proceed to book an appointment. The bot asks for our preferred date, and we respond with May 11th, which is a Sunday. It processes the day checker node, and we receive the reply, May 11th is Sunday. Let's open the day checker node. The query input was May 11th, and on the right side, the response clearly says, it's Sunday. Back on the canvas, the system also offers alternative working dates, suggesting either May 6th or May 7th. Let's go with May 6th. Now the bot asks us for our preferred time. I already have a meeting booked at 10 a.m., so I'll try to book the same time again and see how the system responds. It processes the Get Availability node and calls the Calendar Checker sub-workflow. We get the reply that the first available slot is 10:45 a.m. Let's open the node and we can see the free slot responses clearly displayed. Back to the canvas, I confirm 10:45 a.m. as the time. To confirm, the system gives me a recap with my name, email address, date, and time, and then asks, what would you like to discuss during the appointment? I respond with, about AI chatbots. The system then recaps all the details one more time. I confirm with, yes please. It then processes the Google Calendar for booking and updates the Google Sheet to reflect the booking status. We receive the reply, your meeting is all set. And here are the details and meeting link. Let's first check the Google Sheet node. Here we can see the updated lead details, with the appointment status marked as booked because the appointment has been confirmed. Now, let's open the Google Sheet and we see that it has updated the booking status successfully. Back to the canvas. Let's open the Google Sheet node. Here's the input with all the necessary details, such as start date, end date, user email address, and summary. On the right side, we see the booked appointment details. Next, let's open the Google Calendar, and there we go. The booking has been completed accurately. Now, let's integrate this on our website. And it's super easy. First, let's try it in our browser. Open the chat node and copy the chat URL. Go back to the canvas and enable the workflow. Now, paste the URL into your browser and load it. You'll see the chat window pop up. You can edit the initial messages by going to the chat node, modifying them, and saving the workflow. Reload the chat window and you'll see the updated messages appear. Let's give it a try by typing hi. It works perfectly. Next, we need to add this as a pop-up widget on the website. For that, follow this link provided in the video description. Scroll down to find the CDN embed code. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. Copy this code. You can add this code to any website, whether it's built on WordPress, Shopify, Wix, or even a custom-coded website. My website is built on WordPress, so let me add it. You will need to paste your webhook or chat URL here. For that, go back to your N8N workflow, open the chat node, and copy the URL. Next, change the mode to embedded chat and save the workflow. Once done, activate the workflow. Go back to your website and paste the webhook URL in the provided field. Once done, you'll notice an icon appearing on the bottom right side of your screen. Click on Publish and preview the widget. When you open the widget and enter a message, you'll see it working perfectly. Now, if you want to update something like the initial messages, go back to the chat widget settings, scroll a little bit, and copy the code from there. Paste it after the webhook URL and update the initial messages as per your preference. Once updated, open the pop-up widget again and you'll see the new initial messages appear. You can also modify the top bar messages here if needed. If you want to customize the colors, head to the Customization Code section again. Scroll down to find the CSS variables where you can change the color of the widget. For example, let's change the primary color of the icon. Copy the code and go to your HTML code. After the href link, add a style tag and paste the code inside it. Now, simply change the color code to blue. You can take the blue color code from Google, paste it in the code, and see the updated color instantly. You can update any color in the widget by using the provided CSS variables. For instance, let's update the header background color. Copy its respective CSS variable and paste it inside the style tag. We'll make it the same blue again for consistency. Now, when you open the widget, you'll notice the header background color has changed to blue. Go ahead and publish the changes and take a preview to confirm everything is as expected. And that's it. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you're still watching, you're super amazing and definitely deserve to hit that like and subscribe button for more tutorials. If you have any doubts or questions, feel free to mention them in the comments below and I'll be happy to help. We'll be uploading more tutorials soon, so stay tuned. Till then, it's me, Rajiv, signing off.